What's up, everybody? Victor Pena here with OmniPrint International, here to deliver another fire session of Creators One-on-One. Today, I have a special guest, my friend Pako Pablos. If you guys are an artist, you guys are a creator, you want to know how to take your mindset to the next level, you gotta watch the whole episode, all right? Make sure that you guys that are not subscribed, subscribe, hit the bell, all of that. We're gonna get started right now. I'm super excited because I got kind of a Mexican legend here with us. So first of all, thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for kind of sliding down your chair a little bit, because that way I could
We get to even
also
out the
look
field.
tall. Yeah. So we have a lot of entrepreneurs that are also creators. You're a big creator, and I've been following you with some time, and I really like your hustle, what you're doing. And a lot of our creators are also the same. They're either in the middle of their journey, they're growing, or they're just starting off. First I want to kind of have you introduce yourself, a little bit about your story, and then we'll get right to it.
Perfect. Well, first off, thank you for having me here, Victor. And for the ones that you guys don't know me, my name is Pako Pablos. I'm an artist, multimedia artist, mixed media. I've been blessed enough to have work and work done for the biggest names in different industries. Call it sports, call it movies, call it TV, whatever you want to do it. But to your point, if there's something that I've always have been, it's a hustler. And I think regardless what's your niche, what's your creator, media, whatever you do, I think that's the biggest and most important part of everything. Because a lot of people are always going to be there to tell you that you can't, and a lot of people are always going to be reflecting their frustrations on you just because they couldn't do it. My advice to everyone that's watching this, don't ever listen to them. If you believe in what you do, if you put the work on, if you have good work, if you deliver every time that you have the opportunity, good things are going to come. Just be patient, because Rome wasn't done in 2 days. So the consistency is key for everything, and every little field that you are on, that's key. That's the most important part.
Ooh, I love that. So straight fire, right from the first message, guys. The hustle and the grind to not only see a vision, develop it, and then work every day for a vision is very important. Because if you don't hustle, you don't make it happen, then you don't get to the levels where somebody like Paco's getting. The first many years, nobody sees anything.
Exactly.
So maybe tell the audience a little bit of what kind of art do you do, what kind of designer, and then also how did you actually get started?
First off, I'm from Guadalajara, Jalisco. I was born and raised over there. I lived there until I was 21. I'm a major in graphic designer, from the University of Guadalajara. From early age, I developed, the art skills. I had the talent, but talent with no practice just can't get you somewhere. So I've always was the guy that was, making cartoons out of the professors, the teachers in school, or your partners, or whatever the case may be. So I was always getting in trouble for it, but I was always creating. I was always using my creativity to put something on paper, or put something on the walls, or whatever the platform was, but I was always creating. That was very important. Growing up, I developed also, the skill to play basketball. So I represented my state, Jalisco, for a long period of time, and I also had the opportunity to play for Mexico, the national team, for a couple of years. So that was very important for me, because, not a lot of people can say that they represent their country on an international platform. So that's something that I've always been proud of. Following up my graduation from the University of Guadalajara, I moved up to San Diego, which completely was a sacrifice that you have to put in your life, in your journey, just because you're not going to get anywhere if you don't sacrifice something. You have to keep in mind that if you want to get somewhere, there's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be, blocks on the road that always going to try to close the doors on your face. And the important part for you is to realize that they're going to come, and to realize that you need to have a solution for them. And the solution might not be easy. To me, My first sacrifice was to leave my family, my friends, my life, and just move out from Guadalajara, the place that I've been until I was 21, to San Diego, a place that I didn't know.
Yeah, that's almost half a lifetime for a lot of people to do that. One lesson, guys, and I always try to break this down for you guys so you can kind of see, what does put yourself in play mean, right? When you put yourself in play, it means that you're putting yourself around the places, the people, anywhere that can get you to your future goal, even if you have to leave where you grew up, right? I came to the States when I was 7. 21 is, 7, I don't remember anything, pretty much. 21 is like you already have friends, you already got everything, you already have school, you were like already a baller, you know, in all the sense of the words. Yeah. You could say like you're successful, or you could be like, what's my next step? What's my next level of uncomfort? And then go chase it. So a lot of you guys that want to be super comfortable and you want to do something, you have it written down, but you're not getting in play, you're not putting yourself around the people, the locations, or anything else that can get you to your next level. That's why I have people like Pako here to tell you step by step how you can actually go and start your winning journey. Some of you guys gotta leave. Some of you guys gotta leave your house, your city, your homies. You gotta leave everything if you wanna do something big and massive, and that's what you wanna do, right? If you don't, it's all cool too, right? But if you do, these are the people that are telling you exactly how they did it, all right? So, man, I appreciate that, because a lot of the times we all have dreams. People have dreams and goals, but the next step might be a difficult one. People don't take it.
It's how much are you willing to sacrifice to get to the top of what you want to do or what you want to accomplish, you know? And sometimes when you are making those sacrifices, you don't realize, because it's not time for you to realize what they mean yet. When I moved out from Guadalajara, I got into San Diego in 2005, January in 2005. You know, I had no expectations. I didn't know. I just knew that I wanted something bigger. Playing for Mexico in international tournaments gave me the opportunity to realize that there was more, that I could do more, you know, and that's the mentality that you have to have, you know, because at the end of the day, you don't have to be a visionary necessarily at the time, but you have to know that there's more things that you can accomplish more. And you have to have the thirst. To me, was the thirst of what's out there. You know, what can I do? Like you said, when you're 21, you already know a lot of things because it's a lifetime. Yeah. You know, so you understand that yes, you might have a very good and satisfactory life if you stay. But in my case, I wanted more. You know, I knew that I can offer more. I didn't know what, I didn't know how, but I knew that deep down inside me, I knew that I could offer more, that I have something more in my hands that I could show the world. You know, at that time, I thought that it was basketball. But, you know, as an athlete, you go through injuries, you go through things that put that dream in jeopardy. You know, in my case, I was trying to parlay the basketball thing to find a way to stay in the United States. Then you try to understand what's in your power to keep that dream alive. You know, in my hands, I had the opportunity to play basketball in a junior college. Maybe not at the level that I used to play because of injuries or whatnot, but I had the opportunity to get a student visa, you know? So to me, I was buying time.
Yep.
You know, I was buying time that I could parlay later into, okay, what else can I do to keep, you know, my time growing? And that opportunity came up. I played in a junior college in Southwestern, in Chula Vista, San Diego. And that gave me the opportunity to get more time in. With that, I started to see the possibilities. People don't understand and they say, well, yeah, it's really easy when you get a student visa and all that. It's not easy because for people that don't understand how the school system works in the United States, if you're a foreign person, you pay 300% more of the fees. So to me, if the junior college costs $1,000, you know, per semester, I had to pay $3,000, $5,000, depending on the credits. Yeah. So for someone that couldn't get a job per se, something, you know, it was overwhelming. Yeah. You know, you started to think about it, and then you start doubting yourself about, is it worth it? I mean, is it? I mean, I don't have, family here. I have a few friends, family friends, or you barely have a relationship with them. One of the things that I always gonna remember is my first birthday. I spent it alone here in San Diego. You don't have anyone to go to. You don't have a family that's going to celebrate you because nobody knows when it's your birthday. So that's one of the things that put things in perspective. That was, for a lot of people, that's a sacrifice. It's spending a birthday alone, in the whole sense of the word. It's hard. A lot of people can't deal with that. So that just fed my thirst and fed my hunger of I need to make something happen. And opportunities came up where a friend of the family, an uncle, those Mexican uncles, without them, nothing would have happened, plain and simple. They offered me an opportunity to work in a warehouse. They own a transportation company, a freight company. I got, I would never thought in my life that I would be working in trailers or in a warehouse, being a manager of a warehouse. I was just buying time, however I could, I was buying time. I was putting beans in pallets. They would come in containers, and we would pick up the beans, bags of beans.
Yeah, they're like 100 pounds a bag.
Exactly, and we would put 45 pallets. 45 pallets by containers, and sometimes there were 2 to 3 containers a day. So I understand what it is to put the hard work. I mean, at some point, because this is normal, at some point you were like, is this worth it? Like, do I see myself picking up beans? Not saying that it's bad and not saying anything else, but with the titles and things that I had, I started to think, why am I struggling here when I can go back and just be a graphic designer, use my title, use my expertise, whatever the case may be. But now that's when the destiny tests you, and it is, okay, are you really willing to go through all this? You don't know what you're going to accomplish. You have no idea what's coming, but are you willing to go through this because of what you really believe in?
Here, we don't really talk about hypotheticals, right? We talk about what went down, what the story is, and how you guys can use it, right? And this is the thing, when it comes to doing something big, it's going to be very difficult. Entrepreneurship is difficult. Running a business is difficult. All of that stuff. As a matter of fact, you can say that being an entrepreneur or running a business, you're kind of a little bit insane. Okay, you're a little bit insane because you always got to go through ups and downs, or you got to push through difficult things. And in his story, he's coming from Mexico. He's kind of like popular, playing ball, has everything going for him, and he comes back to going to school, paying more, and then doing a labor job. I did construction, when I came to the States, right? So whenever I see somebody saying, "Hey, man, I worked hard today," and it's behind a computer, right? Dude, I'm so pumped up. People ask me on Insta all the time, "Hey, how come? Why don't you take Sundays off? Why don't you take Saturdays off? What's the big deal?" And I'm like, dude, this is easy. This work is easy compared to real work has to happen. The construction, the roofing, the concrete, all that shit. The loading pallets of trucks. Oh, yeah. I've done that one before. And let's just say that a lot of the times, especially when you work for family, let's just say that they don't invest in the loaders and the nice forklifts and it's normally like your forklifts, your back, and then you just hammer it. So that's why I'm like super pumped up every single day. Doing this kind of stuff, running a business, it's difficult, but pick your hard. Right? If you pick your difficult things, which one is it going to be? Is it going to load pallets or work hard to level up your life, get the education, get around people, all of that stuff, right? So I want to point that out to you guys because a lot of things that happen, and I talk to a lot of people, and it's all about what your tolerance is of what your dream is versus the amount of work and the kind of hard work that you're willing to put towards it. A lot of people have big dreams, but they're not willing to do the sacrifice and the work that it takes to it. And sometimes it's going to be physical, and sometimes you're going to go down to zero and then redo it.
Just because you're in a bad situation at the moment doesn't mean that your journey is going to be bad. It's just a hard patch, and you have to go through it. You have to make it happen in order for you to keep, doing what you want to do. Fast forwarding, 2009, I came back to Guadalajara because there was a situation with the title. I had to go back to get my diploma, my actual title, had to go to thesis, had to do all the protocols and logistics that involves. So I stayed in Guadalajara for a year. And while I was doing that, I'm always been the person that has 5 solutions for every situation. I don't believe in a problem cannot be solved. A problem can be solved when you understand the roots of it. So my situation was, okay, I'm getting my diploma, but I don't want to go back to the same life, the same path that I had before I went back to Mexico. So that gave me the time and perspective to understand my angles. So by the time I got my diploma, I came back to San Diego, and now I parlay my title, to make a business visa, which allowed me to have a social, which allowed me to have, basically being a citizen without, having the citizenship. Yeah. So that opened my opportunities way more, because now I could apply for a phone, I could apply for this, I could apply for that legally. So to me, that was a very big step. And that also parlay into, okay, now what are you going to do with your title? So I started work in the nightclub industry. Started to work there as a security manager. When I was there, I did what I always do, which was, drawing my colleagues, drawing the, people in the industry. So I started to get popular by my drawings, my pieces and stuff. At the same time, I was looking up how can I make a living as an artist. And that led me to Minneapolis School of Arts, which at the time had a contest for you to win scholarships. So I applied. I was like, okay, I'm deciding. This is what I want to do. I actually remember I sent an email to my parents, and I said, "Hi, hope everything's well. This email is just to guys let you know I decided I'm going to be an artist. I don't know if I'm going to, be living under a bridge somewhere or I'm going to have a house. I don't know. But this is what I want to do." And that's the response was something that I'm always going to remember, because not a lot of parents are, supportive of their ideas. And they were, "Mijo, well, this is your life. We're always going to have your back, whatever it is. Just do what you like, do what you love, and make it happen." So after that, I was very motivated about it. I was like, okay, how do I do it? How?
Do you think that you saying that and them backing you up now put you in a place where you got to deliver?
Yes, but at the same time, you create your own challenges. You have to be smart enough and visionary enough to create their own challenges that you can and that you're going to overcome. I remember between the lapse from 2005 and 2009, before I came back, my dad, he's like, "What are you doing there? Really, what are you doing there? Come back. I'll give you a car. I'll give you this. I'll give you that. Just come back. Why are you struggling?" But that's the easy way out. I didn't want an easy way out. I didn't want someone to tell me, "Here, mijo, here it is, your solution. Here's your life." Why would I want that? So I said no. And that's another part of my dad, and I respect him for it, because he said he left his hometown when he was 14. Obregón, Sonora, he left when he was 14 to Guadalajara. He was a very successful surgeon after it. Coming from a little small town from where they didn't have cars, they have horses. So he understands what it is, the sacrifices. So what he said was something else that create the structure for me to keep going. He said, "You know what? I totally understand. And that's the will that you need to make things happen. So that was also something that propelled me and made me feel like, yes, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I can do it. It's always good to know that it doesn't matter how hard the journey is. You scratch it with your own nails, but it's always good to know that you have an extra pair of nails in the bag as last resource. Yeah. That it doesn't matter how bad it gets. You're always going to have your family. You're always going to have someone that they're not going to judge you if you made it or not. So that I'm always very appreciative of it, because it gives me the peace of mind of just give it all out. Just make it happen. Whatever it is, just make it happen.
Sometimes you're gonna have the support. Sometimes you're not gonna have the support. Either way, internally, you gotta create that challenge and visualize it, and actually make it happen, because there's not a lot of people that have the backup from the folks, 100%. Or maybe they have the backup, but the folks can't save you anyways, because they're barely handling their own stuff.
Let me clear. When I said they have my back, I didn't mean economically. I didn't mean anything. Just by the fact that they understood I was not coming back. Yeah. I was going to make it on my own. They knew that I was going to make it on my own. They didn't need to reach out. They didn't need to send this. They didn't need to do that. They didn't know, because they couldn't. Even if they wanted to, they couldn't. Yeah. So just by the fact that you're hearing those words, it doesn't have to be, because I totally understand there's a lot of situations where the folks can or the folks won't, that easy. But the fact to know that you can make it on your own, and regardless of what type of push you get from your family or your loved ones or whatever is there, so that's a big, big, big plus. Which, like I said, I'm always going to be grateful, and I'm always going to be appreciated for whatever it was that it got me here.
Yeah. So, what I want to make sure, guys, we cover these kind of things, because there's a lot of places where you can get how to do this, how to do that, right? A lot of the times it's very important people understand that visualizing something, having that vision for yourself, is probably the most important thing right now. And seeing yourself in a place where you're winning and you're chasing, or you're at your dream levels, visualizing what you could be is very, very important, because then you can't build anything if you can't see it ahead of time. And I'm not talking about like hokey pokey stuff. I'm talking about real stuff that can guide you on the daily, right? So you're a successful artist, but you had to see something before that. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I always get reached out all the time, as we're in the creative space, we're in the print world, we're in the designer stuff, and there's always someone new that they want to be like the next brand, the next designer, and all that. And there's two main things. I think you gotta have the talent, but then you also have to develop the skill and all that stuff. And a lot of the times I don't see both. Obviously, third is the hustle. But for example, if you're going to create great artwork, great designs, all of that stuff, you got to be able to see it. So what kind of things did you go through to actually see where you're at today, see where you're at 5 years from now? Because you need some sort of fuel. Walk us through that so that I could help somebody out there understand how to visualize, how to do these things.
So that goes back to my willing of being an artist. That decision right there. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes you don't know where it's going to end, but you need to make a decision. That decision is going to open up the doors for whatever's coming. So that you don't exactly know where you're going to end up doesn't mean that you're not going to end up there. But you have to have a decision of what you want to do, because that's where you're going to invest all of your time, all of your energy to make happen. In my case, was an artist, and as soon as I decided that I was going to be an artist, always knock on doors. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter, as long as you see a possibility that might help you reach that goal, knock on doors, because the worst thing that can happen is that the door's not going to open. Yeah. But what if it opens? In my case, going back to the scholarship, I knock on that door. I'm like, well, I'm a guy from Guadalajara that just came here, wants to be an artist, and I want to play. But I believe in myself. I know what I bring to the table. To my surprise, they respond like two weeks later. They respond. They call me. It was the dean of the university. He wanted to meet me in person. I'm like, okay, that's very good, but I don't have the means to go to Minneapolis. No. We're gonna go and visit you. All right. So when they come over, they introduce themselves and they say, we just want to congratulate you personally because, the test was very impressive. Your outlines, your skill set, your shadowing, all of the things that we, that we get in order for us to say how good or if you, belong here, they were impressive, and we just wanted to congratulate you personally. You had a 99%, scholarship for, the courses, and also you have 100% scholarship for materials, so I was, amazing. I know. So I was like, whoa, maybe I'm doing something right, because that's the other part. Sometimes you're going to see that everything's hard, but there's always going to be one little light, that keeps everything going. And that's part of the sacrifices, going back to sacrifices. Is it worth it? Am I really good at it? Well, obviously, apparently I'm good at it. So let's keep at it. Let's keep making things happen. So when I was working in the nightclub industry, like I said, I started to do cartoons, to make cartoons for the industries, for the nightclubs, for the bottle girls, for the securities, making everything amicable. And the owners, they told me, hey, you're really good at that. Let's have a talk. So they were saying, how can we help you? What do you want to do? I'm like, I want to be an artist. I want to be in the arts. Don't ask me what I want, because I'm starting to, get into this journey. I don't know. All I want to is the opportunity to show what I do, and they're like, perfect. So they started to hire me to make the posters for the upcoming events. So I started to applying my graphic designer, bachelor degree. So that opened up more opportunities for me to start, earning a little bit more income. So when that happened, going back to knock on all doors, I asked them, what else can I do? Let me present a painting to the next talent. Let me present something to him. All right, yeah, Waka Flocka is coming, a rapper back in the day. He's coming in 2 weeks. Present something. Perfect. I leave the office. I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? What am I supposed to do? I got the yes, but how am I going to make it happen? So I went back to my, my college. In my head, I was like, okay, what's the technique that I like the most? The one, maybe not the one that I like the most, but the one that I was most comfortable with. The one that I knew I could make something that looked good, So I went back to pastels. Pastels, it's a technique where they are like high-end chalk kind of materials, and that was the birth of Dirty Fingers. My nickname is Dirty Fingers because I paint, the pieces with my fingers. So I remember that I really like how it felt. I really like how the texture looked, how all of those things, right? And here I was, Pako, working on that piece for Waka Flocka, using his fingers, painting a 3x4 piece that was going to be, presented to a very famous rapper back in the day. Was I nervous? Of course I was nervous. The least thing you want is to have an opportunity like that and completely blew it. Yeah. So yeah, there was a lot of pressure. But I also feel the excitement of, okay, this is going to be one of the times that you're going to have a realistic answer of you're good enough or you're not good enough. For me, it was a pressure, but it was a personal pressure. Nobody was telling, no one was expecting anything. For all I know, they were like, yeah, just, give him the opportunity and let it go. But to me was a personal challenge. I was like, okay, this is it. You know, I wanted an opportunity. I have an opportunity. What are you going to do with it? So when Waka Flocka comes over, the painting was right there. He sees it. Who did this? Who made this? And in my head, everything goes so slow. I'm like, he's going to say he hated it. He's going to say this. Okay, how are you going to react? What, blah, blah. He looked at me. You're the artist? I'm like, yeah. He hugs me. Hey, bring the cameras. Take pictures. I love this shit. Hey, take pictures. There's everything. Well, not video, because back in the day, it wasn't that common to have footage like that. But pictures, everything. He's so happy with it. He signed me a poster that I got. This is incredible, man. Thank you so much. That's when the viral moment started to happen. Yeah. Because back in 2012, Instagram was barely starting, you know, and he posted it. He posted the piece right there, and he got like 6,000 likes, which back in the day was like an incredible amount of likes, because, you know, it was barely starting. So nobody knew what that was going to go. And he didn't only post it once, he posted twice because he liked it that much. That parlay into now the talent that's coming to San Diego wants one. You know, so now next thing I know, Taiga, you know, yeah, you're going to present to Taiga, you know, because he's coming. You know, they're asking, they want to see your work. They want to see what you're doing. So Taiga comes again, same thing. There's a video where he's dancing, you know, to his painting, drinking gold, you know, champagne, whatever, just dancing to the piece, just admiring it, you know, because he said, bring it up, bring it on stage, you know, bring it to where I'm going to be performing, you know, so that's a big statement, you know. So my hustle spirit is like, okay, what's next? This is not the only nightclub in San Diego. Go for the next ones, you know, go and start. This is what I do. You know, this is the response that he has. So I started to look for opportunities for myself, you know, and they started to come up, you know, okay, now you got to present to this person in this nightclub, or you're going to, you know, in this nightclub. You're gonna, and don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy, no. You know, because I remember starting, some of them were like, yeah, I mean, yes, you can present, but you're going to have to handle it on your own, you know. So here I was at 2 a.m. chasing guys with paintings, you know, just because I wanted my work to be seen. You know, I wanted that opportunity for people to see. I wanted a big platform, you know, to show what I was doing. And, you know, it's just like everything. You know, you have your ups and downs. You have to go at it. But I just keep hustling, yeah. You know. I kept knocking on doors. I mean, I kept asking for opportunities. I kept showing what I was doing in the response of the things that I was doing, you know, and more doors kept opening.
So, look, there's a lot to unpack right there, but there's a few key things, guys. When it comes to, you know, knowing, or I would say making that commitment, a lot of it starts with commitment and drawing the line, right? So let's say you want to do something big, you want to be an artist, you want to do stuff. It all boils down to one simple time. That first commitment, that first decision to go all in and become in your own mind what you're going to become. So you decided, I'm now the artist. And you had no clout, you had no celebrities yet, you had none. You decided, I'm going to be an artist. And a lot of you guys, you don't decide what you're going to do. You actually hem-haw around, try this, try that, and see what sticks. And the reality is nothing sticks. Like it might seem easy from what you guys see on Instagram or whatever, but nothing's going to stick unless you make the decision to commit and get started, draw the line and say, I'm now an artist. And then start from there, because now you're going to have at least that confidence to say, all right, I have a direction, and then now it's time to go. Secondly, if you don't challenge yourself and put stress and pressure on yourself to be in a situation where you must deliver, you must win, you must show up. If you don't do that, you're always going to give yourself an out. All right? And if you look at his story, there's really no way you can get out of being on stage and delivering a painting and seeing what the reaction is of someone live.
Exactly.
There's no way.
That you can't have fear.
You put yourself in a spot where it's do or die.
Exactly. But at the same token, that's the mentality that kept me going, because in my eyes, I needed that to understand and to believe in myself and say, yes, this is the right option. This is the right decision. What I'm doing, what I decided is right. I just need to keep adding the fire. I just need to bring it. I just need to keep bringing it. And that parlay into, now I'm known by corporations, and now they hire me to make murals, and now they're hiring me to make paintings for more celebrities, but now instead of the nightclub industry, celebrities that energy drinks represent, or things of that nature. So I was starting to be known for it, and as that would comes with the territory. When Instagram was growing up, now I have a lot of blue chips following me. Now I have big names following me. Now I have the opportunity to directly talk to them. So what happens? As I always said, knock on doors, create your own opportunities. Now, next thing I know, I'm reaching out to George Lopez because he's following me. Man, I love what you do. I love what you do for our community. I'm a big fan. How can I help you? Because I knew at the time that he had a organization that helped kids, for their kidneys and situations of that nature. So I wanted to be a part of it. And he already followed me. So I'm like, yes, thank you so much for reaching out. Please contact this person, and it's going to make it happen for you so you can, be a part of it. I started to do that. Then I got invited to Monaco, to the Grand Prix in Monaco, and to the Cannes Film Festival. Yeah. Here I am, Pako from Mexico, attending in the Cannes Film Festival with the Princess of Monaco, with Julian Lennon, with people that, what the fuck? Yeah. How did I get here? And luckily, like I said, you create your own opportunities, but also you have to understand what opportunities are in front of you. In Monaco, I remember perfectly, it was the Gumball 3000. For people that are not aware of that, it's like when these super high-end cars just drive around Europe and end up in one place, and it's a big party. So that year, 2013, was the Gumball 3000 in Monaco. So I was there. And I was invited to one of the main parties of the Grand Prix. And I remember perfectly that, it was an open bar, dude, so I was having fun. And I went to the bathroom, and I come out, and I see this guy talking to my wife. I'm like, what the hell? So I went out there, and I put my hand on his shoulder, and I turn around to say, what the fuck are you doing? It's Tony Hawk. So I turn instantaneously into a fan. Oh my God, Tony Hawk, how you doing? It's really nice to meet you. And then I remember back then he was doing, bringing water to certain areas in Africa that they did not have water. So I told him, man, congratulations, what you're doing is amazing. Is there a way that I can be a part of it? Is there a way that I can help, you with the cause that you're doing? Yeah, here's my contact. When you get back, reach out and we'll make something happen. Create your opportunities. For whatever opportunity is in front of you, create a second one. Just keep adding, keep knocking on doors. Because like I said, he could easily say, oh, thank you very much, man. No, thank you. All right. I would have gone with my life. Perfect. But that opened up the opportunity, and now I am stand-up for the skate parks in Tony Hawk in Beverly Hills. So now my work is in broader eyes, more important eyes. The opportunity that I created for myself, it's paying off. Now you have, your work in a very high-end situation. I just keep working it. Just keep working it, keep doing the same thing, creating my own opportunities, and bringing what I know it was quality work. Because if there's always something that I did was never, ever drop the quality. Everything that I brought was my top work, always. Because I knew that could be a double-edged sword, in the sense of, yeah, you have a big platform, you have to deliver. Yep. If you don't deliver, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
So you always have to bring the heat, always have to bring the quality of your work. Whatever your craft is, always be at the top of your game, and that's just going to parlay in more opportunities.
Part of everything that I've been telling you since day one is when you produce quality, you always have more leverage. All right. When you produce quality, you always have more leverage. And leverage is better relationships, being able to charge more for your work, being able to have that second opportunity. That's what you do, So that's why it's important that whatever it is that you guys are doing, you're producing the best quality. And one thing I want to share from what I pulled out is that nobody really does it. I haven't heard it, honestly. And it's very important to bring it out. If you're going to do something, you're going to show up to something, make it a point to create that second opportunity, create that third opportunity. Don't just go to an event. Don't just hustle your way to something, and then that's it, right? Being around people and meeting people means that what value can I provide to someone else, and have that intention when you go somewhere. And I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to do 3, 4, 5 people I'm going to meet, and each of them I'm going to see what value I can bring them. And now I'm creating an opportunity for the next week, for the next month. And that's something that every one of you guys can do. Even if you're creative, just start filling that in, okay? Because I wanted to bring that up because I've told you this, I don't see much when it comes to somebody that has their artist brain, and then they have their closing, creating a brand, making a business, following that vision, making money brain. It's very difficult for people to be able to do both. Yeah. All right. So I really want you to share what can someone that's in the artist game, how did you get yourself to be able to say, okay, well, I need to make money, I need to be successful, I really love my craft, I love my quality, but it goes hand in hand. And the reason I'm bringing it up is 9 out of 10 creatives that I meet, the number one thing they say is, I just want to create art. I don't know about business. I don't care about business. I don't care about money, blah, blah. And I think they need to care.
You got to understand that the art, it's a very, very, very close niche. It's the catch-22, right? Because in order for you to be in a gallery, you have to have experience with a gallery. But if you don't have experience with a gallery is not going to open the door for you. So, and even if they do, off the top, it's 50% off. So 50% off what you do, if you are lucky. So,
man, that's gangster. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
So if I set up a gallery, I got 50% margin off the bat, like
oh
that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
oh yeah.
Damn.
So now, if you look at it as an artist perspective, it's like, yeah, they give me an opportunity, but at the same token, they're shaving everything I make because, in order for you to produce quality art, you have to have quality instruments, quality, materials. And if you guys don't know, art is very expensive. Materials are very expensive. So you have to find your way. So that's one of the things that I started to see in myself. I was like, okay, I can bring very, very, very good looking pieces, but how do I capitalize on it? If I'm not having the very, very main platform that an artist should have, which is a gallery representation, how do I make myself, prominent if I don't have the platform? Well, motherfucker, create your own platform. Create your own opportunities. So with that in mind, this is the advice. Learn how to sell yourself. Learn how to sell what you do. Nobody's going to call you a sellout, because if they call you a sellout, they're just complete morons. You need to sell your art in order to survive. Plain and simple. So just learn how to sell what you do. Obviously, you have to back it up. You cannot just say, oh yeah, I'm the best artist in the world. Granted, I never said that, but, the work backs things up, so when they see your work, oh, okay, now I see what you mean, all right, let's give you a platform. Let's give you an opportunity. That's how you create opportunities, Look, they always gonna believe that an artist is a dick, that an artist is eccentric, that an artist doesn't know this and an artist doesn't know that. True. As an artist, you have to have a persona. You have to have a personality. But that personality can't be close to I just want to create. Because if you just want to create, yes, you're an artist, but you're not a frontman. You're not a person that's going to deliver when deliverers needed. Because in order for you to be the artist that you want, you need to deliver. But you, personally, you need to deliver. You can't be an introvert everywhere you go. If you want to be an introvert, that's fine. But just understand that that's only going to take you certain places.
For you guys that are creatives, all right, how to become a brand, how to make money in your craft. And it's not just coming from me. There you have it. This is how you do it. This is how Pako did it. My craft is business. It's my advice to people all the time, but it's really hard for people to get from a business guy, what do I do as an artist? But at the end of the day, the only way that you create a brand is becoming a brand.
Exactly.
Right? And then number two, if you don't charge, if you don't make money, if you don't put yourself in that position where you have to deliver and you're saying that, oh, I'm doing it for my passion, I do it for free, you don't get the benefit and the privilege of the pressure that it takes to deliver something after you sold it.
That's right. I actually had a meeting last week where, it's a big venue in San Diego where they were looking for, for artists to present for to hire, to commission for certain, projects for a variety of artists. And it caught my eye because the guy said, yeah, well, we're talking to an artist from Australia, which we were very interested in her work. And she was very good. She didn't know how to send us an invoice. She didn't want to charge us. She didn't want to get into the whole business. And in my head is like, okay, then what you're doing, it's a hobby. You're not a professional artist. Because in order for you to respect yourself, to respect your craft, and to respect your artists, the community, you need to understand that you need to charge. And sometimes you might say, well, there's not a budget. Okay, what can we trade in order for me to be valuable?
Yep.
For me,
it's still a value exchange.
Exactly, because sometimes there's going to be big opportunities, but you're late to it. They don't have budget. They don't have this. They don't have that. Okay, I understand. What can I parlay out of that? What can I get out of that opportunity? Because sometimes you just need 5 minutes with one person that can change the trajectory of where you're going. Exactly. So sometimes you just need to have a trade-off, but just remember that trade-offs are good for big opportunities. Don't ever say no because they're not going to pay you if the opportunity to trade for something that's going to propel you further exists.
I love that. And plus, when it comes to actually creating something or getting a benefit, what is very important for you guys to understand is the creation of value. All right. So honestly, it's okay as an artist, as a designer, a developer, whatever you are. I think you have to make a clear decision. Am I doing this as a hobby or am I going to make business out of it? Because it's another very important decision. If you're going to be a hobby, then nobody cares that you don't have an invoice ready, that you don't have an LLC, that you don't have stuff set up. You don't care because it's a hobby. But if you decide it's going to be a business, you got to set that up and you got to put yourself in play to have opportunities. Even if you're not going to charge that day, guess what? Every single relationship that you can make might be your next gig, might be your next thing. One thing I like about what you do is you're always putting yourself in play to where the next opportunity might be. Like skating to the puck before, instead of trying to hit the puck right here in front of you, right? One thing that's it's coming out right now, but it's always been the truth. The only way that you can explode a brand, can do big things, is actually ensuring that you have a personal brand that you're making, personal brand that you are, personal brand, how you carry yourself, all of that stuff, how you display what you do as a person is very important. So whatever type of craft that you guys are doing, you have to always show up representing your brand, yourself, what you stand for, and then you can continue to leverage that. And the other side effect is that it's incredible clarity for yourself. Yeah. You're not second guessing every meeting, everything. You have a baseline of foundational things, who I am, what's my brand, what's my everything, and I'm bringing it to my meetings all the time.
In 2016 also, I created The Promise, which was a LeBron James piece. I call it The Promise because he delivered, his promise for Cleveland to bring a championship for them. I make the piece. He's shushing the haters, because everyone was, you're not going to do anything, blah, 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 just to give you a little bit of a context. That piece, finish it, post it up, becomes viral to the point that every big name was using it. Every big team was, liking it, sharing it, doing this, doing that. I'm like, great. I had an upcoming show like a couple of weeks after that. I was painting live for Twista, another rapper in a hip hop festival. To my surprise, they wanted me to present the pieces that I was going to show in Fox News, in San Diego Fox. So my pieces have prime time interview. Now you see the LeBron James next to me, just talking about how the place is going to be, what I was going to do it with Twista, and so on and so forth. Gets to the show. I get to the show, put my setup. I was painting live before Twista got into the stage. I finished. I take Twista's piece and I go backstage to present right before he was going to perform and this and that. He loves his piece. He goes on stage. I stay, a couple of songs because I like Twista. So I stay there. To my surprise, when I get back, the LeBron James piece is gone. Someone took it. And they're not like little frames. They were like 3x4s. They were big pieces in a music festival. So the cojones of the person to grab the painting and just leave with it. The presence of mind that person had was like, holy shit, man. How did you pull that off? And obviously, cameras, but they're being blocked by a tree. Or we don't have the right angle. Or there's always excuses. Yeah. So in my head, all right, this just happened. There's absolutely nothing you can do. The piece is gone. What are you going to do? Reach out to my media friends. This just happened with the piece that was in your channel. This just happened with the piece that was just viral. Next thing I know, that was on a Saturday. Next thing I know, on Monday, I have Fox News and another channel in my studio. Ironically, I am giving an interview and telling them, well, this happened, this and this. And I said, and you guys can look it up, people are so stupid that eventually we're going to see a post with that painting on someone's Instagram. It's going to be there. Kidding you not. 2 days later, I get a text from a screenshot. Look at the souvenir I took from Twista's concert from an Instagram account. I'm like, wow. By then, I already placed a police report, right? So you have to wait, in order for police reports to advance and, this and that. By the time they reach out to me, I already knew who that motherfucker was, where he worked, where he going to the gym. We did our homework, so I just, give him the information to the cops and they did what they do. 2 weeks later, whenever, that happened, I get a call from the police guy, the police officer. He say, yeah, we got the guy. Unfortunately, he destroyed the painting because he wanted to get rid of evidence, or at least that's what we believe. He's here. What do you want to do? You want to press charges? What do you want to do? Because that's grand theft. My pieces are not cheap, so that was grand theft. So I'm not a bad guy, but I also want you to learn your lesson. So I said, you know what? Just make him pay the painting. You know, I don't care what he does. I don't care. I'm not going to be a person that ruins someone's life just because I'm holding a grudge. You know, so I just tell them, just pay the piece and you're free to go. You know, do what you like. You know, so that happened. Fast forward in 2021, January or February, starting early in the year, I get a letter. Me and my lawyer get a letter from Warner Brothers. We want to discuss the possibility of using the promise in the upcoming movie Space Jam. I'm like, holy shit.
That's big.
That's huge. As a Mexican Latino artist, that would automatically place me into a very exclusive niche of artists that have original artwork in a Hollywood blockbuster. You know, why was that? Because I turned the negative into positive. I created my own opportunity. You know, I made something that I already had way bigger. You know, how? Selling it. Yeah. How? Well, guess what happened? Get working it, hustling it. You know, you gotta have that on you. You know, you gotta have that dog that don't stop. And it's like, okay, they fuck me over. What do I do to not be so bad? You know, okay, so I do this, I do that. You know, and those situations, like I said, sometimes you don't see them right away, but they pay off. You know?
Yeah, you use it. So you gotta use, like, whatever happens, you could use it and turn it into opportunity.
That's right.
And you for you guys that go through tough things, you have two options. You use it, you lean into it hard, and you figure out how you can do it, or you could like put your head under your pillow and cry, right? There's two different types of people. Exactly. And if you want to make it, you got to be the first kind of people that hustle and turn problems into opportunity and keep on doing it over and over again. So any particular specific challenges that you would want to ask that you need help with?
I think that one of the biggest challenges that not only myself, but I'm pretty sure that yourself and a lot of creators and a lot of creative persons find themselves in is, how do you make things happen when you tapped out of everything that you have?
Dude, I love that you bring that up, because when it comes to being at a limit, this is the first thing that I gotta tell you. And this is from experiencing it already several times. And as a matter of fact, we're experiencing it now, okay? And then it's gonna happen again later. All right, so you're gonna have a natural set of breakpoints that are happening in every business. And it happens at different stages. All right, so if and I'm gonna do this the most simplest possible way for everybody to understand. You're gonna go through the what you do and how you do it and who you do it with game system several times. As a matter of fact, continuously. The biggest companies go through it over and over and over again, right? So then you have to recognize which level you're at. And then from there, there's certain techniques that you could use to be able to level up each time. And they're different. What I can tell you from my particular experience, number one, it's going to start with the who you do it with part, because that's going to help you get to the next level mindset-wise. And I'm talking about partnerships, internal team members, external, leaning into that first. And then what are the process type of things that could be done to get to the next level, right? Because then the how you do it becomes the ops, the finance, the what we're measuring, who we're serving, who's the audience. So every single company, every single creator has gone through it, and we just define where you're at, which one you're at, and then there's a certain set of tools that you're able to make a system out of it. If you think about it, I had to learn it every single time. But the reality is, if I knew way before that there's a certain system to business that has nothing to do with making it happen. It has nothing to do with the hustle. It has nothing to do with anything other than a system that's been in place, that's used over and over again for centuries for creation of value in the biggest organizations. It's like, man, that's the magic. So at your stage right now, it's very important to lean into that, because it's way harder when you're bigger.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll go through some stuff. I'll figure out where you're at and, help you get to the next level. But everybody out there, remember, there's different breakpoints or different techniques to be able to get out of it, and you will go through it. That's the number one thing that's guaranteed, that you will go through it, and you'll go through it several times, and depending how big you're going to get and what's your end game. That I hope that gives you some clarity. And then we can go into details about that stuff. But guys, I want to make sure people can get a hold of you. Where is that? I know we could talk for hours. Before we end this up, I want to make sure that I know we're going to link everything down below, but where's the most place where you interact with?
So I have obviously all my social media at Pako Pablos, Pako Pablos. I have the information page for whatever we're doing as an artist is at PakoPablosStudios.com, and also a link directly to the store, PakoPablos.com, where you can get all the interactive pieces, all the Ball is Life collection. A lot of really, really, really cool things are happening and are coming, so stay tuned for it.
First of all, I want to thank you so much. I feel that we just scratched the surface. There's a lot of things that we can unpack on stuff that you've done and all that. And for all you guys, make sure that all of the half of you guys that are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, share the stuff, hit the bell, all of that stuff you got to do so that we can blow up our channel, blow up his channel. Make sure you visit him and buy some of his stuff too. So this has been an amazing session. Thank you so much, my man, for being here. I hope you guys got value. This is what we do to bring people that win. And we'll see you guys on the next video. See you guys on the next Creators One-on-One. And we're out. Peace.